Redeemer lives.
While social media didn't exist in the first century, the words of James apply to our world of Facebook, Twitter, and any other platform you can think of. James wrote in James 1:19 through 20, he said, "So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God." Christians are supposed to be concerned with producing the righteousness of God. How can we produce the righteousness of God in the part of our lives on social media? Well, first of all, let's think about what James says in that passage. He said, be swift to hear. Being swift to hear means be ready to hear. While social media is full of individuals trying to be the first one to speak into the microphone, so to speak, the Christian takes a different approach. While everyone else is running to speak, running to say something, the Christian should be running to listen. There is wisdom in being quiet while others are speaking or shouting. For example, you will identify who understands what they're talking about and who doesn't. You'll learn if there is value in the content of the message or if it's worthless. You'll discover what others believe and what they think about a particular subject, which will mean a tremendous deal if you intend to enter the conversation. And you will also know, if you take time to listen, you will also know where you ought to begin speaking, or if you should even speak at all. While sometimes the claim, silence is violence, is made, or someone will say to be silent is to agree with the other side, God says something different. God says, be swift to listen first. In addition to being quick to hear, James also says that we are to be slow to begin speaking. Once we say something, we can't take it back. Many people regret saying something when they should have remained silent. One person wrote and said, "I often regret that I have spoken, never that I have been silent." On social media, Christians need to be slow to begin speaking. Our words matter. Listen a long time before saying anything. Listen as long as possible. When you say something on social media, think about what you want to say before posting it where everyone else can read it. You might even want to let a day go by before you respond, before you say anything at all. And then finally, James says, be slow to get angry. President Abraham Lincoln, he had a very interesting practice whenever he became angry with someone. He would write what he called a hot letter, in which he poured out all his emotions and his thoughts about what the person had done that angered him. And then he would set the letter aside and go back to it later when his anger had cooled. And very often he would write, "Never sent, never signed," and the letter would go away in some drawer or he would destroy it. And doing that, he would compose his thoughts in a more calm and collected way and then send that on. When you read something on social media that makes you angry, you will likely want to respond immediately. And God's word urges us not to do this. Be slow to get angry. Don't speak or don't type when your emotions are running high. As Christians, if we practice these three things in our conversations, in our interactions on social media, we will produce the righteousness of God. We will be Christ-like in our interactions with others. Keep your light shining bright so that the world can see Christ living in you, even on social media.
Centered on Christ is emailed as an article 5 days a week. Click the link in the description if you want to start receiving Centered on Christ to help with your daily Bible study.